Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Dhananjana Tatsarani. So today I have brought you the second lesson of Business and Accounting Studies for grade 10. I have finished the first lesson in 6 parts, so you could watch that before you watch the second lesson. Okay, then let's start. Our second lesson is Business Environment. So before we start the lesson, do you know what is business environment? Well, let me explain. Business environment is the environment in which the factors affecting the business are activated. That means, my dear friends, the environment within or outside the business can affect the business, either positively or negatively. So, it is essential to pay constant attention to the environment around the business. Okay, for example, let's take the corona pandemic. By paying attention to that, some businesses found opportunities. If we take the Lifebuoy company, they produced hand sanitizers by paying attention to the environment around them. Not only the Lifebuoy company, but many other companies like Dettol produce such hand sanitizers. So, they have paid constant attention to its environment. Likewise, new business opportunities can be identified through the changes in the environmental forces and different trends arising in the environment. Therefore, a successful business should always pay attention to the environment. So, this business environment can be classified into two main parts, that is, the internal environment and the external environment. There are different parties and forces in this business environment, in the internal environment as well as the external environment. So we're gonna discuss about them. First of all, let's discuss about the internal environment. So what is called as the internal environment? Internal environment is the different parties and forces who are acting within a business and affecting a business are known as this internal environment. In this chapter, you will be learning about 3 parties in this internal environment. The first party is the owners. We discussed about these parties in the first lesson also. If you watched it, you might remember them. So, who are these owners? Owners are the people who are supplying the required capital for a business. The financial strength and the business knowledge and also mainly the experience of these owners can lead the success of a business. And the next party is managers. Managers are the people who are taking decisions to direct the resources of a business in order to achieve the objectives of its owners. Now, one of the main objectives of the owner is to see the success of his business. So, the manager is the person who is taking decisions in order to reach that goal. So, these managers are responsible to build a good relationship between the customers and the employees of a business. He should make sure of that. And also in some businesses, the owners will also be the managers of the business. And the third party is employees. Employees are the people who duly perform their tasks assigned using their own skills and competencies. So they must do their work properly with their skills, abilities, and also their dedication and good attitudes also affect to their business. Because if these employees are lazy and they won't work well, then it would cause a downfall of this business. But if these employees are attentive and skillful and have a lot of experience, then it would matter for the business to be successful. So now we discussed what is the internal environment and who are the parties within the internal environment. So who are they? The owners, managers, and employees. And now let's move on to the external environment. What is external environment? External environment means the different parties and forces acting outside the business and affecting a business. They are known as the external environment. So, just guess and tell me, who is the main party acting outside the business and affecting a business? It's the customer. The customers are the parties that buy goods and services from a business. And also, the survival of the business depends on its customers. Because the intention of the business is to provide goods and services to a customer. So if there is no customer, then the business will cause the downfall of the business. So the business should be able to identify the needs and wants of a customer and satisfy them appropriately. Because a customer always likes to get a quality product at a reasonable price. And also the buying patterns of every customer is not the same. Therefore, the business should produce different goods by considering various tastes of these customers and the income level of these customers. And the most important thing is there should be a good for every person to buy according to their social levels. If it's a poor person, there should be some kind of good that he could consume. And if it's a rich person and he could afford a much higher quality or a good in a higher price, then there must be a good which is able to him to consume. Therefore, the business should also consider these buying patterns. The next party is competitors. Competitors are the businesses who are producing goods and services which are similar to the goods and services produced by another business. Now, take this as an example. Both these shops are ice cream shops. That means they are producing the same good. Therefore, they are competitors. Now, for example, let's think. First, they both were selling vanilla ice creams. But then, this seller brought chocolate ice cream. And the people who love chocolate ice cream, then they go to his shop. Therefore, his business is coming to a downfall. Then, he brings fruit and nut ice cream. And again the consumers or the customers are coming for his shop. Likewise, they are bringing various kinds of things, and sometimes this seller might say, oh, he is giving ice creams for 30 rupees. Come over to my shop. I am giving ice creams for 20 rupees. So, as the price is lower in his shop, then the customers might go to his shop. Then again, he would bring a new flavor and start giving free samples. So, what will happen? Again, the customers will go to his shop. And now I am starting to get dizzy because all of this competition. Whew. So, that is what a competition is. Now just take milk powder. You yourself think for a moment, how many brands of milk powder are there? There's Anchor, Horlicks, Rati, Nestamalt, Milo, and all kinds of things. There can be some products which we don't even know the names. So they are competitors. So the way these competitors conduct their business activities and the price, the quality of these competitors' products, and also marketing techniques like advertisements. And did you guys notice that both of these ice cream trucks are ice cream trucks, but this ice cream truck has decorations and boards and those kinds of things, so it's more attractive than this ice cream truck. So it could also be a marketing technique. So I hope you have a good knowledge about competitors now. Now let's see who's the other party. Oh, it's suppliers. Now, who are suppliers? Suppliers are the parties providing required raw materials and other services to a business. Other services could be transportation, fruits, vegetables, processed foods. Those are other services. And the most important thing of this supplier is to supply these raw materials and other services at the right time and to provide quality raw materials. Then only these suppliers can ensure the continuous operations of a business. Now, for example, think that there's a yogurt producing business. So, what are the things necessary to produce a yogurt? Well, the main things are milk, sugar, and also flavors. So, this yogurt producing company can't produce all these milk, flavors, sugar. So, they are asking some suppliers to provide them with these supplies. So, milk is supplied by one supplier and sugar is produced by another supplier. Not produced, it's supplied. And these flavors are supplied by another supplier. The next party is the political environment. So, in a country, the policies of a government will have an influence on the business. For example, think a business is importing a vehicle from another country, and then the government is imposing a tax on it. So that means the price of the vehicle is now higher. So that could either be advantageous or disadvantageous for the businessman, because what if the tax was too high and there is no person who is able to buy it? So then it would be a loss for this businessman. But if it is a considerable high price and there's a person who can buy it, then the businessman is getting a profit from it. Therefore, this political environment is acting a major role in this business environment. Some examples for such government policies are infrastructure development policy. The Sinhala meaning is Yatitala Pahasukam Samvardhana Pratipatti. And the next one is fiscal policy, which means Ayavaya Pratipatti. Now let's talk about the next party, which is the legal environment. So this legal environment consists of laws and regulations which are enforced in order to protect the consumers and also domestic manufacturers. ඒ කියන්නේ දේශීය නිෂ්පාදකයන්. The business community, and also they are enforced to protect the environment. So, in order to enact these laws and regulations, the legal environment or the government is appointing institutions, boards, commissions, and responsible authorities and individuals to enact these laws. Some of these laws and regulations enforced by this legal environment is Companies Act number 7 of 2007, Consumer Affairs Authority Act number 9 of 2003, Shop and Office Employees Act number 14 of 1954. So, as I told you before, this government has appointed some authorities and individuals to enact these laws. So, you might be wondering, who are they? Let me describe them to you. So, here I have given you the Department of Registrar of Companies. I know that you definitely don't have any idea about what I told just now. So, let me explain. This Registrar of Companies is a public authority. It is responsible for managing a company's register. You know that before starting a business, that business should be registered. So, if it is an illegal business which hasn't been registered, then this Department of Registrar of Companies are taking necessary actions regarding that business. Here I have shown you the Public Health Inspectors or the PHI. So these Public Health Inspectors or the PHI is monitoring the business and enforcing regulations to protect the people from communicable diseases. That means sometimes they suddenly come into some shops or such businesses and inspect. They check whether there are expired goods. Some shopkeepers could sell these expired goods. And here you can see, and also you might know that storing food items near soaps, detergents and those items are forbidden. And even when you are going to a shop or a supermarket, these sanitary items are given in one bag, while the food items and those items are given separately. So here you can see the food items and the soaps are all stored together. Therefore, these PHIs are checking it. So if a certain business is using expired goods or storing the things in improper order and those things, these PHIs will take necessary actions regarding those businesses. And the next authority I am showing you is called the Consumer Affairs Authority. This authority carries out investigations based either upon its own motion or on any complaint made by a consumer. If a consumer makes a request or a complaint, and on their own motive, if they feel like to check out, then they are coming to these businesses and checking whether the price of the goods in these shops are too high, or are they doing this business illegally. So therefore, this customer affairs authority would take necessary actions if such things were informed or complained by a consumer. And the last example I have taken to show you is the Central Environmental Authority. This authority controls and prevents the environmental pollution that take place due to activities of various humans and also from industries and businesses. They are checking whether this business is contributing to the environment in a good way. Then it's okay. But if it causes environmental pollution, then they are taking necessary actions to prevent it. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you understood the lesson I taught you today. So in my next video, I'm going to be focusing on this technological and economic environment. So for now, that's all. Don't forget to like, comment and share this with your friends, and also watch all the videos I have uploaded. I have also uploaded some other videos on other subjects, including Sinhala literature and Buddhism. Bye bye.